Lisa Levin was one of the many people who went to New York to create an ocean treaty that UN members could agree on. Levin is a deep-sea biologist and a professor at Scripps Institution of Oceanography. She says the agreement was a long time coming.
It's been 20 years in the making, which is not unusual for a United Nations treaty, but it is a huge accomplishment because it now creates a vehicle to conserve and manage 60% of the ocean that basically was not under regulation.
Levin's main purpose in crafting the treaty was to make sure that climate change and the reduction of ocean oxygen that is tied to it were a prominent part of the treaty. In the draft document, both things are mentioned right at the top in the preamble. She says the treaty could be used to make some parts of the high seas off limits.
It basically will allow for the creation of marine protected areas or marine parks where there can be potentially no human activities.
The treaty creates ground rules for conducting environmental impact assessments for commercial activities in the oceans. Overfishing, mining, and low levels of oxygen in the water are among the factors that have devastated ocean wildlife. Octavio Aburto, a marine ecologist at Scripps Oceanography, says nearly 90% of the ocean's large fish and mammals have been lost.
Marlins, sharks, many species that live very far from the coast have been disseminated by these industrial activities. And if other industrial activities like mining start happening, well, basically we will lose more and more.
Once the treaty is ratified, it can be used to create marine protected areas. Levin hopes that will happen soon.
The ocean faces many threats. I see the biggest threats as climate change combined with overfishing. And those two pressures exert enormous stress on many of our ocean ecosystems.
But she welcomes the UN treaty. She also hopes that by the end of the century, we will have learned to reduce emissions and turn our Earth and oceans into sustainable environments. Thomas Fudge, KPBS News.